Barbarian is a 2022 American horror film written and directed by Zach Cregger. It is produced by Arnon Milchan, Roy Lee, Raphael Margules, and J.D. Lifshitz. The film stars Georgina Campbell, Bill Skarsgård, and Justin Long. Barbarian premiered at San Diego Comic-Con on July 22, 2022, and was theatrically released in the United States on September 9, 2022, by 20th Century Studios. The film was a critical success, with reviewers praising Cregger's screenplay and direction as well as the cast performances. It was a sleeper hit at the box office, grossing over $42 million worldwide against a $4.5 million budget. Plot: Tess Marshall books a remote home in a rundown Detroit neighborhood while in town for a job interview. The house is already occupied by a young man named Keith, with Tess and Keith being double-booked. Initially unnerved by Keith, Tess warms up to him and decides to stay the night. The next morning, Tess and Keith leave for the day, and she goes to her interview. She returns to the house and is chased inside by a homeless man, yelling that she must leave. She ventures into the basement and gets locked downstairs, stumbling upon a hidden corridor. There, Tess finds a room with a camcorder, a blood-stained mattress, and bloody handprints. Tess backtracks and tries to leave but is still locked downstairs. Keith arrives and frees her. Tess tells Keith what she has seen, and he ventures downstairs to investigate. When he does not return, Tess goes downstairs and discovers another subterranean tunnel, and hears Keith screaming for help. She enters the tunnel and finds an injured Keith. The pair are attacked by a naked deformed woman, who brutally kills Keith. Sometime later, actor A.J. Gilbride learns he has been fired from his show due to rape allegations by a CO star. Pressured to sell his assets to pay for legal costs, A.J. travels to a rental property he owns in Detroit, the same house where Tess and Keith are. A.J. inspects the house and eventually discovers the hidden tunnel. The deformed woman attacks him and he falls into a pit alongside Tess, who explains that the woman wants them to act as her children. When A.J. refuses to drink milk from the mother's bottle, she drags him away and forces him to breastfeed. Tess escapes the house by breaking a basement window. She eventually reaches a gas station and is able to hail down a police cruiser. She convinces them to go back with her to the house. The police are called away, and dismiss her claims due to her appearance since being kept in captivity. A flashback to the 1980s shows the house's original owner, Frank, who abducted women and held them captive in the tunnels, raping them and raising the subsequent children. Back in the present, A.J. discovers a decrepit Frank living in the tunnel. Frank uses a gun to kill himself. A.J. takes the gun and flees, while the mother leaves the house to find Tess. Tess runs her over with her car, seemingly killing her. Tess returns to the basement to rescue A.J., but he accidentally shoots her. The two escape the house and find shelter with Andre, the homeless man she was chased by earlier. Andre explains that the mother is a product of multi-generational incest by the original owner. A.J. shows remorse for his past actions, acknowledging the allegations made by his CO star are true. The mother ambushes the group and kills Andre, before chasing Tess and A.J. up a water tower. A.J. pushes Tess off the tower to save himself. The mother jumps after Tess, shielding her from the fall. As A.J. attempts to apologize to Tess, the mother awakens and kills him. Tess shoots and kills the mother with Frank's gun, and stumbles away as the sun rises. Cast. Production. Zach Cregger was inspired by the non-fiction book The Gift of Fear, citing a section that encourages women to trust their intuition and not ignore the subconscious red flags that arise in their day-to-day interactions with men. He sat down to write a single 30-page scene that would incorporate as many of these red flags as possible. Cregger settled on a woman showing up to an Airbnb late at night, only to find that it had been double-booked, as the ideal setup for this exercise, with the rule about having to surprise the audience if he were surprising himself with the writing. He became frustrated during the writing process, fearing the direction of the story was too predictable. So Cregger, with no forethought, decided to introduce a twist that would flip on its head. I just wanted to write a fun scene for myself, and it ended up being something that hooked me, and I didn't know where it was going, and then it turned into a feature film. While writing the screenplay, Cregger named the film Barbarian as a placeholder. As the story progressed, the name eventually became the title of the film. Early in pre-production, Cregger reportedly reached out to multiple financiers and distributors, including A24 and Neon, but was rejected. J.D. Lifshitz and Raphael Margules agreed to produce the film through their Boulder Light Pictures company, and were later joined by Vertigo Entertainment after Lifshitz and Margules reached out to Vertigo's Roy Lee, who had served as an early mentor to the duo. In mid-2020, Lifshitz and Margules accrued a $3.5 million budget for the film, largely through foreign financing, most of it from the French production company Logical Pictures. Zac Efron was the first choice for the role of AJ, whom Cregger initially envisioned as a beefcake kind of himbo. However, when Efron turned down the part, Cregger decided to take the image of the character in a different direction and chose Justin Long for his warm and disarming and charming, lovable presence on screen, which he thought would make the role more engaging to audiences. That same year, Lee brought in Bill Skarsgård, who had previously worked with Lee in It and It Chapter 2, to co-star and serve as an executive producer. Barbarian began principal photography in early 2021 in Bulgaria. The film was shot in Sofia, while exterior neighborhood shots were filmed in the Brightmoor neighborhood of Detroit, Michigan. In April 2022, Logical's founder and the film's main financier Eric Tavitian died from cancer. Unsure of the film's future, Lee secured financial backing from New Regency, who increased the budget to $4.5 million, and as a result, 20th Century Studios became the film's distributor, stemming from a prior distribution deal between Regency and Walt Disney Studios, 20th Century's parent division. Release: Barbarian was originally scheduled to be theatrically released in the United States by 20th Century Studios on August 12, 2022, before being rescheduled to be released on August 31, and later September 9. Disney reportedly maintained a theatrical release for Barbarian due to strong, positive reception from studio test screenings. CinemaBlend and AMC Theaters premiered the film at the 2022 San Diego Comic-Con on July 22, where it garnered positive reactions. The film was also screened at the Aero Video Fright Fest on August 29. The film was released on October 20, 2022 in Australia, on October 27 in New Zealand, and on October 28 in the United Kingdom. In the United States, Barbarian was released on digital download and to stream on HBO Max beginning on October 25. It was also released on Star and in Latin America and on Disney and as part of the Star Content Hub in other international territories on October 26, 2022. Marketing: the first trailer for the film was released on June 23, 2022, and appeared at the front of theatrical screenings of The Black Phone. According to Margules, Disney marketed the film to feel like a discovery and teasing very little of the film's plot and promotional materials. After the film's release, an alternative trailer was released on September 23, playfully portraying the film as Justin Long's new movie before transitioning into the more horrific scenes. Reception: SVOD viewership. According to the streaming aggregator Reelgood, Barbarian was the fifth most watched program across all platforms, during the week of October 26, 2022.